Welcome to Radio Boomers Live, the show about all things human from a baby boomer's perspective. All things hot and all things not. News, reviews, interviews, chat, tech, and what's next. And here are your hosts, Reatha Gray from Betty White's Off Their Rockers and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley.
Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year from Reatha and I, Radio Boomers Live. Here we go, Reatha. We are rocking 2020.
Good morning. Welcome to 2020.
Can you believe this? You know, I mean, how many times? It's like the novels we used to read for the future. You know, you'd read like 1986, and then there was something about 1990 something. And here we are in 2020 with all the new technology and everything, and you're keeping abreast of all that stuff. But wow. This is going to be an exciting year, and things are moving fast, aren't they, Reed? They're getting faster and smaller.
It's true. Time moves on, and things change.
And it's time for us to move into our hot topic and get rolling here.
Absolutely. It's hot topic time.
Ripped from the headlines, today's hot topic.
Well, my hot topic today are the Golden Globes. I'm burnt out on award shows, so I can't imagine that the general public is still really interested in watching them. The gowns are lovely, but when are any of us actually going to wear any of those gowns? I mean, some of them were flowing, and grant you, they were beautiful, but they're expensive, and who's going to wear these? Anyway, I won't go on about the clothing, but there weren't any real surprises, but everything was pretty spread out as far as the awards were concerned. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out on top with 3 awards, including Best Musical or Comedy, which I don't understand. If you've seen the movie, it's definitely not a musical, and it's not really a comedy. It's Quentin Tarantino. They stick him in the comedy box sometime, and I just don't understand it. But I have to admit, it's one of the Tarantino movies that I absolutely loved. But should it have been the best picture in musical or comedy? I don't know. 1917 won the Best Drama and Best Director. Fleabag and Succession each won 2 awards in the television category. Now, if you're like me, I've not seen most of this stuff because a lot of it's on either pay TV or cable. I'm not sure where some of it's showing because most of it I never even heard of. Awkwafina is the star of The Farewell and became the first Asian American to win a Golden Globe for Best Actress, which I have not seen The Farewell, but I've seen Awkwafina in a couple of other things, and I think she's fabulous. So I am going to try to see The Farewell. I don't know where it is, though. I'll have to Google it and find out. Kate McKinnon candidly talked about being gay. I didn't know Kate McKinnon was gay. I don't know if she came out on the show or if it was just because she was introducing Ellen for her special award that it became a big deal. I don't know. But Kate McKinnon did present Ellen DeGeneres her Carol Burnett Award. That was fabulous because both Carol Burnett and Ellen are fabulous women of TV. Tom Hanks was very emotional, and he offered some advice to actors. It was very simple, and I've heard it before. Be on time, know your lines, and hit your marks. That's the bottom line. And I'm good with 1 out of 3. I got to work on all 3 of those. But Ricky Gervais was the host again this time. He was bleeped several times during the monologue. He admonished people not to go political. They did anyway. It was an interesting night. There were some interesting speeches. Some people looked like they were shocked that they won. Other people were more confident when they went up. Renee Zellweger won for Judy. I liked her performance of Judy, but I don't know that she needed to win the award for the best performance by an actress in a motion picture. But she did. Laura Dern won for Marriage Story. Again, I don't know. This is a motion picture. I don't know. I never even heard of Marriage Story. Joaquin Phoenix won for Joker. I wasn't thrilled with his performance. It was definitely a performance, but I don't know that it was the best performance. And Taron Egerton won for Rocket Man, and that, of course, is the Elton John story. Brad Pitt won for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I loved his performance. Don't know if it was worthy of Best Actor. And Quentin Tarantino won for Best Screenplay and Motion Picture for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which with the screenplay, I absolutely agree. It was inventive. It was original. It was a fantasy. Love the screenplay. And the best original song was I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocket Man. Again, wasn't too thrilled with the whole thing. The awards went to movies I really haven't, movies and TV I've not really seen. And the networks were shut out. Networks, get a vision. People want to see good television. Start producing better stuff. You're going to get better awards. That is my hot topic for this morning, Jim. How about you?
Well, Reatha, you're right. It's not like it was in the old days, with the excitement and the glamour of Clark Gable and Cary Grant and all that. But, every generation moves on. So the Fraternity Awards at Indian Wells was a big hit, a very successful event down there. And we had the gold carpet put out there. It was exciting. And, guys, as far as what's going on in 2020, recession, no recession, well, the economists and the experts say no recession is in the forecast for 2020. And things are looking good. The U.S. jobless rate down 3.5%, which is very good news for the economy. People are working and spending. And job is going to stay strong, 130 to 140,000 per month range. That's good. We have the housing market. What's going on there? Is it going to be dropping down back to where it was in 08? You see the price of homes going out. Well, it doesn't look that way. The experts predict housing in 2020, a strong job market and low mortgage rates should sustain the housing market in 2020. The only problem is finding enough homes for buyers. So as far as the sellers, that's a good thing. For the new phone coming out, what is it, the new i5, whatever, they say it will be there's going to be a lot of benefits to that, faster and clearer, but basically do your homework on that, because they say it could allow hacks to come into that situation, and so get your protection on those phones, and just do your research on them before you upgrade. Americans' top financial concerns for 2020. Unplanned expenses, of course, you don't put that in the budget. Personal debt, not enough in savings, rising healthcare costs, so that's for us older folks. And the economy, stock market, volatility, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? What's going to happen? But interest rates are still at record lows in the high threes. That's amazing. So if you're going to buy a house, buy it now. I keep telling you that. And the Amazon still has its issues. And Australia has really big problems. This is kind of biblical stuff they're talking about. Big fires in Australia. Research that. So you have to take my breath, and we're going to move on, Reatha, because we got to move on. That's the name of the game. And I think it's a commercial time.
Well, then let's move on to our sponsors.
There you go.
Are you tired of doing business the hard way? Is building your business taking too much time and energy? We can help. Introducing your ultimate solution, EasyWay Business Membership. We're a full-service digital marketing solution specializing in branding and marketing, advertising, and introductions to CEOs and influencers that can help your business thrive. Problem solved. Now you can hire our award-winning team to work for your business. We've received many prestigious awards, including the Digital Trailblazer Award by Hollywood Weekly magazine, and we've been recognized by Congress. For just $11 a day, you'll get more exposure, reach more clients by next month, guaranteed. Here's how it works. You pay one low annual fee of $4,000, and you'll receive consulting, branding, marketing, advertising, social media support, product placement, and business introductions to help your business grow exponentially. And if you need more, we offer SEO, commercial, TV exposure, and much more for an additional rate. To recap, for just $11 a day annual membership fee, you'll receive branding, consulting, business-to-business introductions, advertising, and social media support. But don't take our word for it. Here's what our customers say.
We've been working with EasyWay Eric for the last 6 months, and literally we are slammed with work for 2 months straight, so his marketing definitely works.
To learn more, visit EasyWayNetwork.com or contact us at 877-399-2929. And don't forget to follow us on social media. On Facebook at EasyWay Network, Twitter at EasyWay Broadcast, and YouTube at EasyWay TV.
Boomers Forever Young is really making a name for themselves as an exciting nutritional company with products that really work. People from all over the country are starting to take notice. Their whole-person approach to health and wellness, combined with their unique array of powerful natural health products, are setting them apart from all the other companies in the nutrition industry. Their customers love the one-on-one free consultations and the results they experience. Sound a little too good to be true? Then go online to boomerboost.com today and sign up for a free consultation with a product specialist, or just give us a call at 1-800-861-4609. Again, that's boomerboost.com. Or call 1-800-861-4609 to join the thousands already experiencing the benefits of Boomers Forever Young products.
And let me tell you, there's a lot of research that goes into Boomer Boost, and that's what sold me when I saw all the research that went into that, and it works. So we have some very, I like to say very interesting all the time, but this is someone coming back to the show. Anita Mayberry, and we're going to have, like Eric and I, father, son, mother, daughter. Anita she's an influencer, red carpet host, gold carpet host, interviewer with the EasyWay Network, and a life coach, a spiritual life coach, actress, and the list goes on and on. But she is so bubbly and just she has such a good presence to her, and we're going to have her mother on with us, Robin Piacine, if I pronounce the name right, Piacine, and Robin is an advocate for the Korean and Cold War POWs and MIAs. National president in 2003 to 08. She testified before the House Representatives and has done interviews with numerous publications. And you know, this is really interesting stuff. She's a speaker, and to this day, she speaks to veterans group and outreach missions and supports charities, including the Village of Hope and Orphan Children of Uganda. And, you know, like I said, I could go on and on with it. This is very interesting stuff. So, Anita and Robin, you on with us?
I'm here, Jim. How are you?
There she is.
How are you doing today?
Oh, good, Nina. This is Reatha. Are you on with Reatha? Reatha, you remember me? We had you on before, and you know, like I give you an introduction, but the main thing about you, Anita, is your bubbly, positive attitude, and it's a report that I even put together on the importance of a positive attitude, especially going in a new year, which at the end of the show we're going to talk about. And do you have your mother on with us?
Yes. I believe so. I think she's there. Are you there, Mom?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Robin. How are you?
Good.
So, Robin,
hey.
Thanks for Let me see how much did I mess up. How do you pronounce your last name?
Well, it's pronounced Piacine.
Piacine. Okay. And Reatha, are you on with us?
Me, I can do that. Oh, okay. I was muted. Okay, Piacine. I can say that.
See, Robin, that's a typical baby boomer show thing. We do that every once in a while. We fall asleep on our phone or our microphone. That's about it. But so I have to ask Anita, Robin, do you guys save money on electric bills? And the reason I ask is at night, you don't have to walk around the house with all those lights on because you guys have halos with all the good you do, right?
Oh, you're so sweet.
All the good you guys do. This is amazing. You're lights in the world. So
thank you.
We don't want to put Anita, but let me tell you something, Robin. Your daughter is so positive, bubbly, and I've always said the eyes are the lamps to the soul. And your daughter has such good eyes, and that's just a little thing I'll throw at you. She is very special to us, and she's in our family, and we want to bring you in too. So we, Robin, I was just touching base on some of the things that you've done. You've testified at House of Representatives. You're an advocate for the MIAs and the POWs and everything. And tell us a little bit about what brought you into all the work you do and keeping with us for the Korean and Coldwater POWs.
Well, actually, when I thought about all this, I remember being in high school when the Vietnam War was still raging. And I told my mom, we really need to do something because a cousin of mine, Jim, he was drafted. And we were taught about the POW camp. So I actually asked a congressman to provide me with some information on how to gather the bracelets that they had, the POW MIAs. And so it actually started when I was in high school. But I found out later on that my uncle, William Charles Bradley, he was in the Army, he was in the medical company. He became missing in action on December 1st of 1950. And nobody wanted to talk about it, but I knew it really hurt my mom. So anyhow, the long and short of it is that in 1998, my mom found an article in a Veteran magazine requesting families who had somebody missing from the Korean War, unaccounted for, to provide a DNA sample. And we were then invited to a national update that was provided from the Department of Defense in Washington, D.C. So as I got to these meetings, I actually became the spokesperson for our family and realized that there was a lot of information our families needed and weren't getting. So that's really where it started.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, Robin, where the more you look into it and the more you learn, the more you realize it's out there and hidden and so on and so forth, right?
That's correct. In fact, the archives in College Park have just tons of files that have the need of being declassified. And although there is an order to do so, from the past, things were not filed correctly. And so to find that stuff now is very, very, very difficult. And there just isn't enough staff to do all the work.
Now, your path is a little bit more difficult, guys. So for us baby boomers, we can kind of relate to these years. We go back to the 50s. But for the younger folks down there, the Xers, that what it is you had World War II, and then the Korean War, and the Vietnam War, and then the Middle East situation, and everything. So what Robin is, her situation is a little bit different than the MIAs in Vietnam because Vietnam is open. It's a place for tourists, and people go there. North, South Vietnam, it's just everything. All that's changed. But in Robin's situation, you have North and South Korea. It's been locked down where you have no access to that, right, Robin? I mean, it's not like
yes.
You can.
Yes, you're correct. Mainly, we have been posing this to the North Koreans forever, that this is a humanitarian effort, that it's not a political issue. But the point of that is, getting back into North Korea. If I were uncle and I would have a say in it, I wouldn't want anybody else to become a prisoner in North Korea. So when the teams go over to do the excavations and so on, they're in danger if there's threats, So we have to somehow form a bridge to be able to get back in some way that will provide safety to our excavation teams.
So what about the communication for North Korea? I mean, has anybody in your organization actually tried to go to North Korea and do some research, or do they allow you to look around? I mean, it's pretty tight over there for sure.
It's a very dangerous trip to be making. Let me just put it that way. And we did have a representative from the Coalition of Families go with some diplomats from the United States, an ex-governor from, I believe, the state of Texas, go over and have a talk with them. And we, of course, did receive those 50 boxes back from North Korea at one point. I think it was in 2018. It's interesting, too, for us as Americans, we are the only country that avidly pursues the remains of our missing from wars and conflicts. And we actually were able to discover that not all of those remains were American remains. And some of the countries don't even want the remains back, say China and North Korea. They don't want it. It's not important to them. So, we don't like to leave anybody behind. And so for the families, this is real important for your listeners to hear, I think. There's no place for us to go and visit our loved ones. We can't honor them with a burial. And so, you talk about closure. I don't know that anybody gets closure whenever they have somebody die in their family, but it gives people a bit of peace that they've been looking for almost now 70 years.
Yeah.
So that's important.
So what happens when somebody goes to do research? I mean, how do you contact a place like that? I mean, I suppose there's numbers you can call, but do you basically get cut off, or is there kind of a communication? And
well, as far as North Korea goes, you will have
has anybody gone there? Have you gone there, or do you know anybody that's actually been allowed to go and kind of do a little investigation?
No, they don't do that. They don't allow that.
No.
The only thing that I know of is there's a museum there that folks from the Department of Defense were able to go to, but there was no information available there. No, not even the Chinese or the Russians will allow us to actually go into their archives. You have to request certain files, and if you're lucky, you might get some information.
Wow. So anyway, I give you a lot of credit for that, and you've, it was interesting. You were able to talk to testify at the House of Representatives. That's kind of something that most people don't do.
Well, and Anita was actually there. She was my assistant that day.
What an assistant. Your daughter's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
She's a sharp cookie.
She was excellent. But, I mean, and the funny thing was I wasn't on the list, so I really had to push hard to get on the listing. The president of the coalition, I needed to be there, and I needed to make sure everybody understood the importance of having this organization, and also to be able to continue to increase staff for the Department of Defense to do their job. We don't have enough people doing their job. And now we do actually have folks from other organizations that are private that are working with the Department of Defense hand in hand to be able to go to different sites for, like, say, World War II and do excavation and discovery. So it's getting better in that realm. But, there's only been less than 500 people identified from the Korean War. So,
and just to let everybody know that was very, very, a very difficult war.
Because we sent young men out, and they were using World War II equipment, and a lot of that was faulty and so on, and the cold was terrible.
And the cold
So, yeah.
is unbelievable. You're talking way below zero. It's just,
and you're marching and you don't have winter clothing.
So the Village of
Hope. With all the new DNA techniques that they have now, is that helping?
It's helping, and the thing is, it's more than the DNA. It's like, if recovery remains or remains a return with dog tags and IDs, like a wedding ring that might have some inscription in it. It's not based just on DNA. I would like to get out there to the public that any family that has somebody missing from the Korean or Cold Wars, to contact a casualty office, like whatever military branch they came from, and please, if you're able, donate that DNA so that the remains that are in Hawaii right now waiting to be identified may possibly be identified either through their DNA or the process of elimination. So important.
Good stuff, good information. And now you have Orphan Children of Uganda and the Village of Hope. You've worked with them.
Well, what I've done there is my husband and I support a child, and that means that he can go to school there. He can stay there for many months out of the year, rather than in a refugee camp, which is high risk for children. And it also gives them a future. And the child that we have been representing is getting skills in chemistry and also skills in masonry. And we communicate about 3 or 4 times a year through letters. And then I write letters to other children who don't have sponsors.
That's something the Easy Way family would like to get interested in. So who do we contact to help on that situation?
Village of Hope Uganda. It's on the internet. Cindy Cunningham is in charge of that organization.
Okay.
It's so easy.
I have been to Uganda, and going to school is so important to those children because it is their only hope of having a better life, is to be able to go to school. And I was there as a missionary, and I would pray for the children and ask them what they wanted prayer for. And, in America, they want an Xbox or a new phone or whatever. In Uganda, the kids just wanted a uniform so they could go to school. It was so precious.
Yes, and even we're limited as what we can send over to them. Like, and when I write these little letters, like stickers are so important. Just believe that, stickers. A pencil is huge. Things that we just can't imagine today would make that much of a difference in a child's life. And actually just getting something in the mail is critical for them. It gives them hope. It brightens their day. They want to know somebody cares about them.
I've talked to people that have been over there, and they say that a bottle of water is a big thing. Just to have access to water, it's we take for granted. And so, so Robin, are you bubbly?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I wanted to find out where Anita gets that from, because she definitely brings smiles into a room. If you have a bunch of depressed people sitting around worrying about the economy, it all changes when Anita walks in the room.
And I've noticed that. But when the two of us get together, it's a hoot, let me tell you.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Totally.
And she gives you a lot of credit, too. And, the mother-daughter thing is very important. My son and I support him with the Easy Way situation. And
but I want to also thank you for your service.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I enlisted, I wanted to see, the old-fashioned for your country,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That was a little bit later than Korea, but, it's interesting. We give you a lot of credit for what you do. And
thank you.
Does Anita help you with that kind of stuff? Is she interested in that, too?
Well, she's kind of busy.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
she would if I asked her to.
Yeah.
She's a helper, boy. She's really there, and she's experienced some new situations with us, and and moving forward with the learning the carpets, and she's a quick learner, And boy, she's a natural with a microphone. It's amazing. Some people have it and some don't, but she's just a natural and very talented.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for all the kind words and for giving her this opportunity. I know it means a lot.
I'm just wondering if we should give all that talent. Well, where do you get that from? Does it come? Do we give that to you? Did it come from Robin? All that talent and personality. So, Robin, do you have an amazing personality? But anyway, no, give you guys a lot of credit. But we have to move on now. I want to thank you for coming on because we know you both have busy schedules, and thank you for what you do. And we want to get some support your way because we know you're still going and speaking and helping. But the Village of Hope and what is it? The Orphan Children of Uganda.com?
It's Village of Hope Uganda.
Village of Hope Uganda. .com. Write that down. All right. Well, thank you, Robin, for coming on, and Anita, and Anita for bringing your mother on. And it was very interesting. And I'd like to have you back. And again, sometime we're looking forward to meeting you at one of our events. When are we going to have you down in Southern California?
I was going to say you're in Tennessee, correct?
What's that?
Tennessee.
You're in Tennessee?
Yes, I am in lovely Tennessee on the plateau in Cumberland County.
I am so tempted to move to Tennessee. I'm looking at it hard. It seems like a great place.
It is a great place. I love this place. I love Pennsylvania and the Appalachian Mountains, but this is wonderful.
Talking about beauty. Oh, my God. Trees, and I'm a Crockett fan, boy. I'll tell you, I go back to
Well, we've got tons of woods here on our property. If you all want to come for a retreat, you're welcome.
We're gonna
I might take you up on that.
You do that.
We're going to do that. Well, thank you again, guys, coming on. The clock's ticking. We got to move along here, but we're going to do that. Reatha and I are going to get down there and check out Tennessee in the long run.
You guys are lovely. Thank you both so much. Lots of love
Thank you,
all.
Anita.
Thank you.
That was a treat.
Have a great day.
That was a treat.
Thank you.
I think the name Robin is so cool. I like that name, Robin. Cool.
Thank you.
Robin. So anyway, guys, Anita Mayberry and Robin, her mother Robin, was on with us, and very interesting what she does and the work with the Village of Hope and orphan children. The Village of Hope, Uganda.com, and the Cold War situation with the MIAs. And with that, Reatha, I think we're moving on to a commercial, right?
Looking to grow and align your brand with celebrities and other established brands? Your brand is all about your entire customer experience. Everything from your logo, your website, your social media experiences, the way you answer the phone, to the way your customers experience your staff. So why not let us help you get your branding right from the start? At Easy Way Promotions, we are a new class of professionals providing first-class online branding, promotion, social media, website development, editing, graphic design, public relations, media, SEO, and online advertising to give your business the competitive edge to stand out. Our highly experienced experts will not only help you increase your online presence, but also provide you with a proven online strategy to help you increase the value of your company and make acquiring new customers easier. So what are you waiting for? Contact us today and let us help you grow your business exponentially.
For more information, contact 424-209-9290 or visit easywaypromotions.com. That's letter E, letter Z. We also encourage you to like our Facebook page at Easy Way Promotions.
You are about to experience Carmelita's Corner. Carmelita's song Rosebud made it to the top 40s with the Godfather of Soul, James Brown. She's the founder of the Rose Breast Cancer Society. Now here's your host, Carmelita Pittman.
Good morning, everyone. And it is a good morning, isn't it? We woke up another day, so that makes it especially good. Anyway, I've got a great guest coming on. She is a noted sculptor. her work sits in the White House, and I've had the pleasure of getting to know her over the years, and she's been a big supporter of the Rose Breast Cancer Society when she exhibited her artwork in the Rose Variety Art Show. So anyway, I want to bring on Stella Singleton Jones. Good morning,
Hello.
Stella.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I am blessed and highly favored and bushy-eyed and bright-eyed.
Amen. Amen.
Uh-huh. So anyway, I'm happy to have you. I mean, we've been talking about having you on as a guest for some time now, and I've been watching you over the years, and I just want to congratulate you, and I think that it would be great for the people to know how you chose your path, what led you to become a sculptor.
Okay, I feel honored to be on your show. Thank you very much. I started sculpturing at Santa Monica Junior College. Before I went into sculpture, and I took an art class, and I thought it was a painting class to make, paint trees and fruit baskets. But this man came on the stage and dropped his clothes, and I said, that's it. This is not the class for me. And I enrolled in a sculpturing class. I enjoyed it, and then my career started blossoming from there.
All right. Well, you had a great foundation. And
yes.
Tell me about some of your experiences along the way.
My first experience that I received, this is how I actually got started. I came ill with spinal meningitis. I was in a coma for 2.5 weeks. I had to learn how to walk and talk all over again. It took me a year to start walking, and once I started walking, I remember that I would constantly get sick when I go outside because being in the coma, it broke down my immune system, and my doctor told me to go to Santa Monica City College and just take some classes and enjoy myself. And I remember I was an artist, so I enrolled into the sculpture class. I took the sculpture class, created a sculpture, and my first piece was called Them Bones. And one of the fellow artists looked at it and said, oh, this is beautiful. You should enter into an art competition. And I said, no, I'm not ready for that. But he went on and entered the piece. It was accepted. So that was actually my first art exhibit in the city of Long Beach. And the second sculpture I made at Santa Monica City College was the Unity sculpture, which sits in the White House as today as a permanent collection.
Wow. And that's quite a story. And how did your artwork become a permanent piece at the White House?
First of all, they contacted me when they accepted it, and then once President Obama left the office, they said that the sculpture would stay in the White House, so they made it a permanent collection.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And what steps did you take in order to get your artwork in the White House?
When I created the Unity sculpture, I said to myself, this sculpture is too beautiful for one person to have into their home, and I just kept staring at it and said, where should I send it? I just went on faith, had it shipped professionally, and sent it to the White House, and within 3 months, the White House contacted me, the coordinator of the who accepts all the gifts. Called me and said it's been accepted. President Obama and the First Lady, Michelle, love it. And they asked the value of it at that time, and it was $60,000. And they said they're going to send you information. And the funny thing about it was I did receive my phone call from the White House, but unfortunately I was in the kitchen cooking breakfast, so they did leave a message on my phone. So I do have that saved on my phone.
Oh, wow, what a story.
Yes.
Yeah. And did they send you a check, too?
Well, actually, they didn't send me a check because I gave it to them as a gift. but they needed the value of it for the White House. So they did send me all kind of letters thanking me for it, and I have those on my website. You can see those as well. And that's sculpturebystella.com. And you can actually read the letter that I sent to President Obama and First Lady Michelle about my journey. And they gave me a great response regarding everything that I have been through. So I am really appreciative of that.
Oh, that's wonderful. There's been so much talk about his connection to Kenya. I truly believe that he was born in Hawaii because there's proof of that. But my husband and I were honored to have been invited by our former Congresswoman Diane Watson to go to Kenya. And they really revere him over there. I mean, I think they think that he is their president.
Yeah, more so than ours.
Oh my gosh! I mean, we saw a truck with his photograph on the back of it, and I mean, we believe they really love him over there too. And of course, he has many people who love him here in the States as well. He's left behind such a great legacy, such a gentleman. He and our First Lady were such prime examples of what a leader should look like.
Yes, I agree with that. And a loving couple, most of all.
So anyway, well, first of all, before we run out of time, I want to thank you on the air for you being a participant when we had the Rose Variety Art Show at the Virginia Robinson's Gardens, the big estate in Beverly Hills on 6.5 acres. And I wanted to know how you felt being a part of that event.
That was a beautiful experience. I was just so impressed how all the people came together to support you and the foundation, and the mixture of all different kind of artwork and other items there as well. And I thought the collaboration was presented very well.
Well, I appreciate that input from you because, I respect you as an artist and revere your work. And we did have so many wonderful artists there as well. We had participants from LAVA, which stands for Los Angeles Visual Artists, and I was a founding member of that organization, and I'm sure you have much love for the founder, Esperanza.
Yeah.
Esperanza Luna. Now she's got a new name added to it since she's a married woman now.
How nice.
Yes, just really amazing, this story. And she was there actually with, at that time I don't think she was married, but her young husband was with her then too, and she's just doing great. She's up in Pahrump, Nevada, and she's been a guest on Carmelita's Corner too.
Oh, how nice!
And
one thing I found out about that event too, when my son was with me, the man that had that large blue parrot.
Oh yes. He was our honored guest that year, and he is the creator of over 500 floats for the Rose Parade.
Oh, how nice!
And I remember he asked me, "Is it okay if I bring Sebastian?" That was the name of the big, huge blue bird that sat on his shoulder. Yes, his name is Raul, and he has quite a legacy. He's gone on to glory. He called me after the event to thank me, for the award that we gave to him. We gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award, and I was just kind of blown away because he took so much time, to talk to me. I think we were on the phone for about 2 hours.
Oh, nice.
It was quite making up the lost time. The last time I saw him, Debbie Reynolds was at this event in Beverly Hills. They had a reception for his artwork. that was seen on this big banner, and it was to show the drawing that he had done so that people could see what that float was going to look like. And so we got a first-hand glimpse of it before it became a float. And there was also a very special dog. The dog is famous, and in the movies and all of that, and the dog was part of the whole show and also on the float as well. I can't think of the name of the dog, but it was just a great reception, and I was so happy to see him. We had a mutual rapport, and I just, was sad to hear that he had left the planet. But if you go to my website, you'll see all kinds of posts of him because he's also honored on our website. If you go to www.rosebreastcancersociety.org, you will see him. And also some of our past honorees, the legendary movie star Margaret O'Brien, who's got 4 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, was a big part of it, and the head of the Southern California Motion Picture Council, the president, Lord Randall Malone, and many others were all part of it. And also the late Jarvie Hutcherson. He created a legacy, and the Diamond Rose Awards, the Lady in Red event, is coming up February 21st at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. And Gail Gibson is heading that. She's got big shoes to fill, but she's doing a great job of following Jarvie, and she's put on a wonderful event already where he started it at the Palomar Hotel. I mean, the last one he started. And then she had one in Beverly Hills Hotel last year, the Beverly Hilton, and this year again. And I'm also honored that she's selected me to be on the show as a singer. So I have an anthem that I'm singing for this event, and hopefully people will come out and hear it.
Oh, congratulations to you.
Well, there's a lot going on. God is good. They say God is good all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank you. And can you give us your website address again?
Yes, sculpturesbystella.com, and I have a lot of new artwork that will be coming up, I would say in about a month, so check back again in a month. And I thank you for this opportunity, and thank you to all your listeners, and I look forward to the future good things for 2020 for the both of us.
Absolutely, and this is a double good year because we've got 2020 vision.
Yes. What a blessing.
Okay, Stella. See you soon.
All righty. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Smartphone, cell phone, PC, Mac, tablet, iPad. That's right. It's tech time.
Well, I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Jim Zuley himself today on My Tech Time. I know you don't think of Jim as being Mr. Tech, but he has some issues, and it has to do with technology. We want to get it out there to the public so that you don't get hoodwinked. Jim, are you ready?
I'm ready to rock and roll with you, Reese.
Okay, now I remember some years ago you told me that you were interested in getting these solar panels for your house, and you actually did. It's been all the rage the last few years, but you actually did it. But now you're finding out it's not all that it was chalked up to be. Tell me about your solar panel experience.
Well, I'll first start with my technical expertise. You're a tech person, and my son is way out there. Myself, I'm still impressed by the television set, and that's what I did. I ventured out, and I wanted to check out solar because like you said, it was the wave of the future, and people are going that way, and they're saying, I don't have much of an electric bill with solar, and I didn't have much of one anyway, because in my house I basically had a toaster, and I don't have a swimming pool. I don't have the big air conditioning system. I mean, we're up in the hill here and not too far from the beach, and I don't really need air. So I talked to this individual, met him at somewhere, came over and said, yeah, and checked out the house, said, yeah, we can lower that electric bill. I said, well, I don't have much of an electric bill. He said, well, basically I wouldn't have one. And I thought, well, what does this cost? And he said it could cost $30,000, $40,000. I said, well, I don't think I want to do that for electric bill. And he said, well, you can lease them, and there's no cost to that. So I thought, well, all right, I'll try that program. I know you pay so much for a lease, I suppose, and if it's more affordable than the electric bill, we'll try that route. Well, to make a long story short, I didn't know about what to get, and I said, he asked me, how many panels do you want? And I said, well, I don't know. That's your line. How many do you think I should have? Is it the more the better? And he goes, yes. And I thought, okay, well, whatever you think. And if I would have did a little homework, I would have researched the neighborhood, because most of the homes in my neighborhood, I have one of the smaller homes in our tract, and a lot of these homes have 5 and 7 and 10 panels. Some of the bigger ones might have 10 or 12, but it doesn't seem to go much further than that. Well, he basically covered my house in panels. I've got 30 panels, and I've heard I could have powered my entire block with what you have. And I thought, well, as the weather would get warmer, I'm thinking, oh, this is cool. All that sun's going to give me all this energy and all this power stored up. And they said, what'd you do? I said, well, I don't know. Am I going to use all that energy? Well, it goes into a bank and you get refunded. Well, that would be through the electric company, I would think. And actually, you don't get much of anything. You get a couple pennies on the dollar. And the way it works, which I had no idea, is the more sun, Reatha, the more sun that you get, the higher your bill. And I'm thinking, okay, I walk out in August thinking, look at all that sun out there. It's 95 degrees. Boy, am I going to have a lot of storage and a lot of whatever you call it, accumulated, energy. And I'll have a lot in the bank. Well, that's not the way it works. The way it works is the more solar that you absorb, the higher your bill. And my bill that was $100 to maybe $120 was $250 in the summertime. And I called and I called and I called. I said, boy, what's going on? And what happened was the company that I had went into bankruptcy. And I kept trying to get questions answered, and I have just the response was, well, they didn't really know, or they'll look into it. I said, well, who do I talk to? Well, they didn't really know, and that's what I was getting. Nobody really knew what was going on. And I could understand that they're restructuring or whatever. But that's where I was at with this is, okay, I've got solar panels, which is cool, but I didn't know, and I don't want to ramble on, but the way it is, Reath, is I just didn't know that when you draw more energy, your bill goes up, and in the winter time, the bill will go down. Now, the rent you're paying on these panels is equaling, or actually a little higher than my electric bill was. But I called and asked one time. I said, I've got all these panels. What should I do? Shouldn't you maybe shut some of these panels off? He says, well, if you go on vacation or if you're not home, turn everything on. Turn on your TV, turn on all your lights. That way you'll use more energy. And I'm thinking, that doesn't make sense. I'm just supposed to leave all the lights on all the time, and that way I'll use more energy. So none of the answers I got made sense, and that's where I'm at, Reese, with this.
That's absolutely crazy, Jim. But, so many crazy things go on, and they've always got these schemes that they perpetrate on us baby boomers because we don't know. We just don't know, and we don't know where to go get help. So that's one of the reasons I'm interviewing you today. If anyone knows how to report a solar company, know anything about how he was hoodwinked and can give him advice, go to our website, Radio Boomers Live, and give us either a direct message or just go on the page itself and give us some information, because Jim is really on the hook for this. And, none of us have money literally to burn. So I don't know what to tell him because I don't have solar. I don't know anyone that does have solar. But that certainly doesn't sound like what they've been advertising. You're supposed to get the panels and your bill drops to pennies a month. That's not what happened, is it, Jim?
No, and the other thing is that they tell you can't use your electrical box. That box you have, with the circuit box that you have on the side of your house, circuit breakers. That's got to go, Reese. That's got to go. And, hey, having somebody come in and replace electrical socket is one thing. They charge you, whatever, $50 to replace socket, electrician. And they say, oh, by the way, your electrical panel has to go because we need a bigger one for the solar. And I'm thinking like, okay, we're going to replace the electrical panel. And so there's a little charge there, too. It's about $1,500 for that. And you have to do that, which that's okay because I suppose it's good to upgrade, But these are things you have to be aware of. But the bottom line, Reef, is the solar panel is fine. You're going to have to pay for a lease, if you're leasing it. You don't have to put anything down. But they should give you the proper amount. And like I said, I don't have the spas and the sauna room and all that kind of stuff that uses the pool, and that uses a lot of electricity. I didn't have any of that. And they should give you the right amount of panels. And, that's kind of, I'm not a complainer. And it's like, I don't like making waves or anything, but you drive by my house and I look like a big solar panel. My whole house is covered with solar panels, which I don't need. So I don't think there's, a need to have all these panels and pay for all that leasing of energy, whatever. I don't even know how to describe it. But
well, it certainly doesn't sound like it did what it was supposed to do. And we want this to be a cautionary tale to all of our listeners. Definitely check it out before you get involved in any type of solar program, whether it's buying or leasing. And if anyone has any information that can be helpful to Jim, again, go on to our website, our Facebook page, Radio Boomers Live, and give us some information. Have you had the same experience? Have you been able to lower your bill? Have you been able to contact them and been able to have your panels removed? Or who do you report it to for the government, matter of fact? Any information that you possibly have, just put it on our Facebook page, Radio Boomers Live. Thank you, Jim, for being interviewed today, and let's move on to Jim's Jim.
And guys, I appreciate that, and I just want to bring awareness to everybody. I mean, solar is good, I mean, it saves on your electrical bill. Just make sure you get the right plan and the right amount of panels. But with that, guys, I'm just going to say hello and welcome to our Easy Way podcast party and our group that gets together today. It's an ongoing situation from kind of continue on from last time. We were going to touch base last week with New Year's resolutions. Didn't quite get there because we touched on procrastination, and which is a tripwire to your goals. So we had touched on that. Now we're going to touch on that. So we have a New Year's group chat today where we take a topic of interest with our new podcast party. We get a group of people, and we take a group of interest and go over issues and concerns we have, and our group will go over the pros and cons or whatever on this certain issue we have. And today we're going to have a situation that deals with what are your New Year's resolutions, why did you pick them, and your experience with your resolutions maybe in the past, and what stops you from moving forward, whatever. Because we want to have resolutions. They're usually something good in our life, but we want to follow through. So we have always an interesting group of people, and they're all very talented and experienced people in business, entrepreneurs, and so on. And let's bring on our panel. We've got my son Eric and myself, Noah Brown. And so let's see who we have on today. I think we have Angelique Marie and Sophia Alvarez. Who do we got?
Happy New Year's, everyone.
We got
Happy
Sophia
New Year.
Alvarez, Anita.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, cute.
Noah Brown, Anita.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay,
Hi,
Anita,
James.
do we have...
It's Stephanie here. Hi, James. Happy New Year to you and Eric.
Is this
Hello,
Stephanie?
everyone. You've got Carmelita.
Yes, it is.
Carmelita and Stephanie. Okay, good. I'm glad everybody took the time to jump on. Guys, we talked about this last week, and I kind of put the brakes on the New Year's resolution because we had our some of our issues, and some of the people didn't have their issues with it, and they kind of had the answers to what we needed. Stephanie came across with some interesting. In other words, there doesn't have to be procrastination with some people. Not like me. I have a big procrastination problem. And I mean, why do I walk in the kitchen and have a cabinet that's always popping open? Why don't I fix it? And it's only been like 5 or 6 years, and it still pops open. But I'll get there. So we're trying to solve these problems. But for now, what I want to do is see what's going on with let me go over this a little bit. We have, all right, what is your New Year's resolution? Why? Okay, well, 60% admit to having a New Year's resolution, while only 8% of the people are successful at it. What's the deal there? And that's one of the things we're going to talk about. So, guys, let's get the ball rolling here. Who wants to jump on first? Sophia, do you want to share? Because Sophia came out. I'm gonna pick on her first because she laid the foundation with procrastination about her room and organizing. So we're all going to be knocking on Sophia's door and see if she got that room in order. Sophia, what's your New Year's resolution, and why did you pick that certain resolution? And do you think you're going to follow through? Because only 8% of us do.
Well, the room situation is actually it's a room / an office. So I have brought everything in from our Vintage Hotties business and our other 3 businesses into my room because my sister is living with us now from Palm Springs. So we moved her into the house. So for the past 6 weeks, all I've been doing is moving each room around. So, yeah, that was my goal is to get that office done, which I'm doing really well, making really good progress on it. As for a resolution, it's like no resolution, just get things done.
Okay, getting things done. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, whether you call it a resolution or not, this year you want to get things done. Well, that's a good one. I'm looking at, this is serious stuff. Reatha and I know this. Maybe some of you guys don't so much, but when you get to a certain age, it's very simple. You either start your acting gear or you're going to have problems. And
yeah, every 10 minutes, I need a break.
Yeah, and that's the same with finances too, but with health. So I'm going to really, really try, and I've talked with many of you about this. I'm going to try to stay on the wagon, and that's the veggie wagon, because you got to have the water, you got to have the vegetables,
yeah,
and so forth. If you don't, you're going to fall apart. And so that's what I'm going to work with, and every day, somewhere or another, I'm going to try to get something done. So that's my resolution.
There
I'm
you
going
go.
to try to, whether I'm not going to clean the whole closet, but maybe part of it. And,
yeah,
and maybe
a little
one
bit.
socket. Yeah, maybe one socket. So we're going to stay on track with it. So,
hey, starting's the first step.
Yeah. So Stephanie, what do we got going for you? You're positive.
Yeah.
And what's the resolution you have for 2020? Do we have Stephanie? Okay.
Stephanie.
You there,
okay.
Stephanie?
Okay. Stephanie might have had connection. All right, Angelique.
Oh, Angelique.
Hey.
How's it going, Angelique?
Hi, Sophia.
Is Angelique on?
Yeah, she's
okay,
there.
So Angelique, I know you're pretty much on track. Not saying that myself and Sophia are not on track, but we might need help in this category. What's your New Year's resolution? And do you think you're going to be able to overcome the situation I gave you about only 8% of Americans actually follow through? You're going to follow through with your new deal.
Yes, I absolutely am. And actually, Easy Way is going to help me with it because there are two quotes that I try to remember always, and that's never let the fear of losing keep you from playing the game, and that everything you want is on the other side of fear. So doing things that maybe aren't as comfortable, aren't as they can seem a little scary. Just becoming more of who I am and the person that I'm destined to be, and in any opportunity that I can do it. That's
Angelique, that's very true, because if I tackle a certain, like I'm hanging a certain type of cabinet that I've never hung before, you sometimes tend to hold off on that a little bit because but once you start doing it,
right.
Then give me those cabinets, I'll hang them for you. But like the uncertainty, the fear thing. So your thing going into 2020 is what in a nutshell?
Basically, just doing more things, tackling more things, even if it seem a little fearful at first. Just going after it and being the divine person that I am.
For what I have for you on this one is a little thing I found. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. So you're good to go on that.
Very good. I like that.
So Tiffany Scher, right? Tiffany, you on with us?
Yes, I am. Hello. How are you doing?
Hello,
Just
Tiffany.
to let you know, I love all your names.
I got some good news for you for your
good news
for your
is good.
solar.
We love good news.
Yay, good news.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you're talking your topics about New Year's resolutions and also fear. And that's basically the good news for me, because today, I get a call from my car company telling me that you don't need to replace your transmission. Your car is good. So I went out and now I have 4 cars instead of 1 car, because I constantly been buying cars, and my husband said that's not really something I should be doing, because you try to replace something good with something bad. So my New Year's resolution is not to use fear as a way of handling my affairs. And a lot of reasons why we don't go online, and a lot of reasons why we don't go to events. A lot of reasons why we're not successful as entrepreneurs even is because we let our fear control the outcome of what it is we're doing. So that's my New Year's resolution, is to not use fear, but to use God's will in my life, because I have a big, giant family that I'm supporting. Huge family. That's why I've been out of the network lately. But just because I haven't been in Hollywood, I got also the events of the Golden Globes. The guy that is doing it, he talked a lot about how there's a lot of things going on in Hollywood that are not godly things that are happening, and how the control has now navigated from film to Netflix, so they might as well have a Netflix award instead of having Golden Globe Award because, nowadays, anyone can multiply, monetize, and recreate their business just by using networks alone. So just like, in business, if you create the current reputation of, yes, I'm helping others, then that starts to multiply. But that's my goal, just to not be fearful, not use fear as a way to act upon things, but before you know it, I'm going to have a whole lot of cars if I keep buying another car before finding out the problem. But yeah, that's my good news.
Oh, amazing.
That's great. That's awesome.
And I wanted to tell James, because James is the godfather. I call him the godfather of the Easy Way. He is a veteran, and I just wanted to tell you, James, that don't worry about the solar issue, because there is a guideline that I'm going to send it over to you and to Eric in the email. But there's a guideline that they have to follow. It's a protocol. I worked for the #1 solar company in Southern California called Barango Solar. So I was their top sales rep for the entire company. I was on the top leaderboard of the solar company for the entire time that I was a part of the company. I used to go door to door, and I used to hand people solar deals. So I know all about this. And the good news about it is you did increase your home value by $18,000. Are you still there?
Wow.
James?
That's a typical baby boomer thing. My ear touched this thing, and it made it
Are
go.
you still there, James?
Yeah, it made it go mute.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose you, because I know there's multiple callers on the line.
I don't feel bad, because Reatha did that earlier in the show. We're always doing something like that.
So yeah, I know that was a pertinent issue for you, so I just wanted to let you know that you did increase your home value, but you should definitely study the APA guidelines for California. But right now they just passed a law that says that as of January 2020, they are going to require actually all homes in California to be solar if you have a 3-story home or more. So right now only 9% of the homes in California are solar. So what you did is you did increase your home value. Yes, you're paying for the panels, but at the same time, you do need to read the guidelines about that, because your lease could be something that can be recalculated based on the structure, power and watt, what's called power and watt usage. Okay, so do your research. Do the due diligence on that, and it's definitely worth getting it reevaluated from whatever the standpoint of the Solar Commission, because they can do what's called a re-regulation of your home. Okay?
Re-regulation. Wow, that's good stuff.
All right.
There you go, Jim. That's the power of Easy Way,
what
right?
they do is they're going to they can offset the panels that you do need and don't need. The other panels are just going to be there as a what's called a model. So just don't worry about it. If they made the error, believe it or not, you have, just like being a veteran, you have the benefit of the doubt. If you're injured on duty, it's kind of like the same type of thing. Look at it like that.
Okay. So it's power and watt usage and restructure, it's called, huh?
Well, I don't know if it's the right verbiage, but I'm just explaining to you from my standpoint. I was in the solar industry. I'm currently going back into the solar industry, but I'm doing it over here in Arizona. I'm not in California anymore. I had to leave there because California is becoming a third world state as well. I don't know if you know about that. It's just the higher taxes. There's more homeless people in California than anywhere across the nation. And the governor there is running amok, Adam Schiff. So whatever.
Tiffany,
don't want to go
into
the political ring right now, but yeah.
This is amazing stuff, and thank you for doing all that research. I really appreciate it, because I'm kind of lackadaisical about that. I procrastinate.
You can feel bad about it, but like I said, don't feel bad because you increase the value of your home. So if you're putting your home on the market right now, you're going to get every penny that you paid for those panels. Those panels helped you, but at the same time, they need to do, what's called a recalculation of the annual kilowatts of the home.
So Tiffany shared the fear barrier, which is very much out there. In fact, they even talk about some of the biggest stars have that before they go out on stage. It's something that's in us. It's a protective thing, too. And so I'm going to move along with some of the people. Thank you, Tiffany. It was so good, informative, and thank you for the panel situation. And here's some of it. Now, just touching base on what we're talking about and what we did last week. The common reasons for procrastination that's stopping us from getting into this resolution stuff is, here's some of them: skill deficiency, lack of interest, lack of motivation, fear of failure, fear of success, and resistance. So these are some of the things we're battling. But we want to do these resolutions and we want to be successful at them. It makes a difference. So we got Sophia's covered the base there. Sophia went over the situation with her room and everything, and Angelique and Tiffany. So what does Noah have to say as far as your New Year's resolution, Noah, and why did you pick that, and what do you think might be, do you think you'll follow through, not be the 8%er?
Well, Jimmy, I'm glad. Well, Jimmy, I'm glad you asked. I kind of have a two-part New Year's resolution. One would be to get to cooking more often and of course, healthier. Just like you were talking earlier about getting more veggies in the diet. I could definitely do a little bit of that. I find myself at fast food too much, so I definitely want to get in the house more, cooking better, and for myself. That would definitely be a good start.
Well, cooking.
Would you? I'm sure you would agree.
Cooking healthy.
Right? Yeah, cooking healthy, getting.
One thing, I just you bring that up real quick. I've been talking to people, and they say don't eat the sugar and stay away from the salt. Oh, salt's a heart problems and blah blah blah. And I'm thinking like, holy smokes, I can't eat spaghetti. I can't eat bread. I can't because bread is salt and sugar. Spaghetti turns into sugar. Well, we don't want to get into that now. We'll do that another show. But boy, you got to be careful. Holy smokes! What am I supposed to eat here? But okay, so cooking is a good resolution to get into. And what do you think has been holding you back? Why didn't you move into this 5 years ago with the cooking? Why do you wait?
I get so busy, especially with working with the Easy Way, being one of the assistants to Eric Zuley and all that. So I find myself just it's much easier to just run down the street, get a sandwich at a local spot, than to just try to put it together in the place, putting a salad together or something like that. Because you just go down there, you hand them some money, and they hand you a sandwich. It's so much easier.
I got a question, Noah. If there's, and for everybody on the group today, if we have in-and-out banking, zip, pull up to the bank, get your stuff. I don't have time. I just go to the drive-thru. If we have all this quick stuff that saves us time, how come we're always out of time, it seems, there's not enough time in the day? When a long time ago, there was no pull-up to the bank. You'd have to go inside and fill out the papers. If you needed to get a hold of somebody, you needed a dime to call them. And yet we didn't seem to be in such a shortage of time. It's kind of weird, isn't it? But anyway.
You used to know your phone numbers.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I feel like that falls into the category of what happens to you boomers. You guys have to deal with, instead of writing out some paperwork in a branch, you have to deal with this computer thing. So maybe it can get tied into the fact that you guys have to now operate a computer right there in your drive-thru. So you'd rather go in the banking anyway, so the time is lost.
For you, Noah, and Tiffany and Angelique and Sophie, I just want to let you say that we got a lot of listeners commenting on everything you're saying, and we want to say hello and thank you to all the listeners that are on there.
Oh, I do want to.
And we want them to put in their New Year's resolutions and thank them for listening and being part of the show. And and we'll have you on sometime. We'll try, and this is interesting stuff, but it's important stuff because, you know, we've held off, no matter what term you want to put on it. We've held off on doing a lot of these things and improving with the diet. Let's start a new year with a new diet. All right, make that a resolution, whatever you want to do. But let's stick with it and not fall aside from, what is it, 97, 96% of the 98% of the people don't follow through. And we can come back in a month or two and see if we're sticking with these resolutions, with the no food thing, and Sophia with her room, and me with the cabinet and everything, and the fear barriers with Tiffany and that, and Angelique's situation. You know, we're going to stay with this. So I've shared mine, and Eric. We will, yeah. So Eric, are you on with us? I think he's doing some kind of tech thing there. Engineers beeping. Okay, so guys, what do you say? Okay, we have because I can share some of this. Procrastination stop you from fulfilling much of what you want to accomplish. You want to be positive in how you think and what you do, but you also want to follow through with otherwise positive thoughts. Do not find, your. In other words, what they're saying in these articles is the positive thoughts move into accomplishments. And I'm going to share this in one of our other shows, but it's basically over and over. Like I shared with you some of they asked Larry King, can you give us a show? Well, the thing Larry said, he's got so many shows, how could he pick one? And he had one. And he said, yeah, I got a show that stands out among all the shows. And he said, if there's a comment that's made, and they have several people on their panel, there's going to be debates and arguments and so on and so forth. And he said on this one show, they made a statement, and it made it more difficult because he didn't have 2 or 3, he had 6 people. And he's going, oh, boy, how are all these people going to go along with this? To make it more complicated, 3 of the people were from different forms of religion, and 3 were from different areas of science. Now, how are you going to get all 6 people in agreement? Well, they made the statement, and he couldn't believe it. He looked, and all 6 people were in agreement on this situation. And all 6 people were in agreement, and the statement was, the way in which you think determines the outcome. And all the religious people were going along with it, and then they said, what about science? It's basically proven that it changes chemistry, and thinking positive changes chemistry, and a lot of you are aware of all that. And there's a science with that.
Hello.
Yeah, I know. So social.
No, this is Eric. You asked for me earlier, and I was on my phone reading,
Eric.
and I was like, I forgot about Dad. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dad. You're on your flow. I mean, shouldn't my dad be a speaker? Guys, like, we need to turn him into a speaker.
Hey, guys, let me share.
Hey, he's holding down the
right?
the fort pretty good.
Let me share this one piece because we're all family social. 90% of the self-identified optimists surveyed named spending time with family and friends as a top hobby. Okay, I'll let it go at that. But that's so, Eric, we're sharing our New Year's resolution, and what is it that why did you pick that resolution? Do you think what's standing in the way of like some people shared the time situation, the time gets in the way, or it could be a fear situation where you kind of have a fear of moving forward. And we've covered a lot of the bases here. So what's your New Year's resolution? Somebody's breathing on the phone there.
Well, my New Year's resolution is to help more people, help the Easy Way family, and the obstacles are the haters, and are obviously like time procrastination, and we also have numerous projects that we want to get done. Obviously, like I'm sure any business owner wants to do. We're really excited for the Easy Way TV app to finally come out. It'll be available on Google Play. And if you have an Android phone, in the next couple of days here, and about a week to 2 weeks on the Apple Store, and we're just trying to empower the media stuff that we do to be able to empower the Easyway family and the members and just work with everybody else. And before I go off on a tangent and talk and start taking over the show, I'm going to give some other people the opportunity to make sure that they get their airtime and whoever hasn't talked on that podcast party. By the way, you guys like this idea? This new Easyway Radio podcast party idea?
Yeah, I like it, Eric.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Oh, absolutely.
We can delve into issues, and we're sharing our vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's been very honest in their fear and whatever it is. We all have that, and they're sharing that as human beings, and how we can get over it. The other could maybe help with their advice. It really can help.
Okay, so who hasn't had a chance to talk on the podcast or to party with the podcast party yet?
Yeah, let me party real quick, Eric. This is Carmelita.
Carmelita.
I just got a positive response from Shawana. She's expecting to hear from us after the show. And I want to say this is the most amazing lady I've met recently. And, of course, we've got great, amazing ladies already on the podcast. But I have to tell you, Shawana did an awesome job. I went to her beautiful home yesterday, and she had a few ladies there, more than she expected, and she did a wonderful job of hosting, of setting your goals. I mean, she has done amazing things with her life, from learning how to set her goals. And, of course, like she said, the most important thing is to pick out the one that means the most to you, because if you pick out something that is almost impossible to do, you might not really be that serious about it and only daydreaming. So pick out something that is doable and maybe not such a long list at a time. She only picks 5 at a time.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that would be
I
key.
didn't even know you were on with us, so that's good. So, Carmelita, you can share that if you want, real quick, your New Year's resolution.
Carmelita was on with us, I guess, or maybe she did a baby
I'm
boomer
still
thing.
here. Am I
the
supposed
mute
to say
button.
something else?
I didn't know you were on with us. Do you want to share your New Year's resolution real quick and what?
Well, I do have a list, but getting that Grammy is going to be one of the top things on my list.
Grammy?
If not this year, maybe next year. But by the way, I'm doing a pre-Grammy show at the end of this month, towards the end of this month, on January 25th. The Hollywood Weekly is having me back again to sing, and there's going to be several Grammy people there. And you never know. I've been planting this seed for years. Actually, I've been everybody else's cheerleader behind the scenes, working, at the pre-Grammy galas, helping to produce them and so forth. And Bonnie, while she was here, Bonnie Hilton Sweeney produced 23 annual pre-Grammy galas, and I actually sponsored the one 1998 at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. And James Brown, the Godfather Soul, came on, and he paid for the trophies, but I paid for everything else. And it's been a long journey, and as Bonnie used to always say, a labor of love. And I think that as long as you do what you love, it's not work. And I just love music. I love every form of music. And in a way, that's sort of been a setback for me, because I never have made up my mind which one is the one. But I keep bouncing back and forth between jazz and opera, country, pop, you name it, rock. I just love music, So
February
21st, we'll see what we're gonna serve them January 25th. And also, Eric, I'm looking forward to joining you at the NAMM event in Anaheim, and I hope you can tell them something about that while you're on the air.
We're right next to.
Don't forget that.
Well, as far as the NAMM goes, we're right next to the Verizon and the real big, huge booths. They're like 100,000 square feet, and we got our own situation with a partner over there. So, if anybody's going to be at NAMM, make sure you stop by and just, message me on Facebook or whatever, and we'll bring you on live. We'll be doing some on-air broadcasts and stuff over there, and we actually have a lot of big interviews set up with some of the bigger music stars that are over there. And I'll allow, Carmelita, I will allow that that free plug for Hollywood Weekly there. I love how you product placed in there for Hollywood Weekly. But because it was awesome that they put my dad on the cover of the magazine, and they're even talking about now putting my girl, putting Dr. Dante Sears and maybe even myself as a power couple, or just her, on the next cover. And so they've been really supportive. We appreciate Hollywood Weekly, and they
make
also
sure Eric remember who wrote the article. Make sure if you're going to do that.
Oh yeah, no. Well, actually, Carmelita, I'm going to give you all the credit. I mean, give you guys a little bit of the backstory of how we got a relationship. And by the way, you guys make sure that you get my book. It's releasing in March at the Best U Expo, and it's going to be a fantastic book telling you the stories of how we've gotten involved with all these major influential people, but not just how we got involved with them, how we turned that relationship into relationship equity, meeting them, getting their cell phone number. We never do the office thing. We don't go do office numbers. We don't do the typical routines. I get people's cell phone numbers, and I stick with them on text. And most of these relationships, which are in the thousands now, of some of the most influential people that are really making some great things happen, have turned into relationship equity, and we're making money with every one of our partners and every one of our influencers, Hollywood Weekly being one of them. But basically, I really like the feedback on this podcast party thing, and we want to just give everybody a voice and everybody the opportunity to, to be able to monetize, basically build an audience, keep an audience, teach them how to keep an audience. That's tough, and then monetize an audience. And actually, if I may, since we're in the plugging mode and promoting now, I'd like to actually plug one of our new clients, which actually recently just got her first sponsor within 1 day of signing a contract with us. And her name is Natalie Chaprin, and she's a image consultant and doing so many other things. She has a book, and we convinced her to do a show. She signed a contract with us. She committed $6,000 for the year. She made her money back. She doubled her money on a contract basis, $1,000 a month for 12 months. That's what, $12,000 within 1 day of phone calls. And she did one post, and she had over it was like 100-something comments of people saying they wanted to be on her show. And so the second she mentioned that she was going to have her own show on Roku, Apple, Amazon, et cetera, she made a lot of things happen, and she got her first sponsor. So congratulations to her on that. And it just goes to show if anybody wants to monetize. And now think about this. She's actually going to be monetizing in her sleep, not doing anything. It's our job to keep the commercials running. And as long as we're keeping those commercials running, she makes her $1,000 every month. And that's just doing that. I told her, I said, when you first start with us, we're going to put floaties on you. Don't worry, we're going to toss you in the water, but we'll make sure you got floaties on. You won't drown. And we did. And she's like, you know what? I'm getting comfortable now, and I'll take my floaties off. I'm going to learn to swim. And she is. And she's actually got a lot of people. I'm beyond flabbergasted. But we showed her a way out of how to take her own audience that she already has built through Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it might be, Instagram, and actually give them a gift, give them a benefit, and make money at the same time, make it a win-win. And so I just wanted to do that little plug. And is there anybody else? I'm sorry, Dan? What?
That's what you call ROI, good ROI, return on investment.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Is there anybody else that hasn't podcast partied with us yet? I want to make sure everybody got the chance to say their New Year's resolution and talk on there. Okay, cool. And I know Noah. Anita, is Anita there?
Oh, Anita.
Yes,
sorry, Anita. Well, you're so humble. Sorry, Anita. So, Anita,
we have a short amount of airtime, but Anita, go ahead real quick. Tell us your New Year's resolution.
Tell us your New Year's resolution, Anita.
So I have two short, sweet ones. One is stepping out of my comfort zone, doing something that I normally wouldn't do to expand and grow, taking an opportunity that normally I might not, but venturing out and kind of spreading my wings on that aspect. And the other one is bringing God's love down here and expanding it on a global platform because I feel as being a spiritual life coach, everyone deserves to feel what all love is. So creating an all love movement where all are deserving of feeling and experiencing love. So those are my two things. So I'm just sending that out to the universe and to God, and may it come back. And, grace and gratitude on both of those. So those are my two short speaks.
Awesome. Well, thank you for keeping it short. Those are great resolutions. And Noah's been texting me like crazy. Please let me say one more thing. Okay, Noah, you literally got a minute, dude. We're about to get cut off. We only have so much airtime. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, my second part of my New Year's resolution was to help put together, or at least lead the way to starting the newest version of Easy Way News, just pretty much calling it the Easy Way News Division, something where we extend the opportunity to others in other states and other areas to build their own news for themselves, utilizing our platform. We'd have their news for their local area powered by the Easy Way. There's my short bit. Enjoy.
So we want to thank Carmelita and Sophia, Eric and Angelique and Noah and Tiffany for all their input, and this has been very informative. And we want to thank all of you that are listening. And we want you to share your New Year's resolution. So let's get motivated, keep learning, keep healthy, think positive, and most important, keep your faith strong and consistent into the new year, into 2020.
Thank you for listening to Radio Boomers Live with your hosts, Reatha Gray, Star Betty White's Off Their Rockers, and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Radio Boomers Live. Radio Boomers Live is brought to you by the Easy Way Broadcasting Network. That's the letter E, the letter Z, Broadcasting Network.